Hi there and welcome to Knox. This is our first ride review of the new Yamaha Tracer 9 GT Plus.
So fifth round this corner, which not got the drive, open the throttle full, down to third, and accelerate. Mightily impressive. And that's the first time that I've seen a third generation quick shifter on a motorcycle. So that's a really impressive piece of technology in my opinion.
So we've been here on a Yamaha Experience Day, which is basically where they've brought the whole fleet of Yamaha motorcycles for select members of the press and very important people to come and ride for the day. So first point of call was to check out the new Tracer 9 GT Plus. What I will say is this isn't a full review. This is much more like a first impression review. We haven't had enough time on the bike to really get into the nitty-gritty of it. But what I will do is bring out some of the plus points and that I can see and that I think people will enjoy about this motorcycle. So the first thing that I would like to talk about the Tracer 9 GT Plus is the new technology. And for the first time, Yamaha have put adaptive cruise control onto one of their motorcycles. So this is a radar-enabled Bosch adaptive cruise control that they've fitted onto the Tracer 9 GT Plus.
That you will have probably already seen on the KTM Super Adventure S and the Ducati Multistrada, so it's a tried and tested piece of technology. But to be honest, it really enhances the ability of a sports touring motorcycle for me. And almost any bike. It's just a fantastic way to manage your speeds in a motorway, for example, or if you're on a faster A road. To be fair, I could even chuck it in it now, and basically what it would do, it would track the guy in front and regulate my speed accordingly.
Connected to that, they've also got this really innovative linked brake system, which essentially uses the radar and goes a step above just the normal adaptive cruise control. So say for example you're coming up flying into the back of a truck that perhaps you haven't seen, and all of a sudden you slam on the brakes, the radar can see this van in front of you and it figures out that actually there is more possible braking that could be done to enable you to stop hitting that truck. Well, the brain, the 6-axis IMU within it, will actually figure out that there's more braking possible, and it will apply the rear brake and apply the extra front brake for you as well. That means that the rear disc is much bigger than the standard Tracer 9 GT. And you know what? I think it's massive innovation, it's technology that they're putting into this motorcycle. It is very clever. The other thing that they've got is adaptive semi-active suspension. Now this is connected to their rider mode, so you've got a street setting, you've got a rain setting, and you've got a sport setting as well. All ties together, the throttle, the electronic damping of the suspension, the compression, the rebound. And do you know what? It does a fantastic job. So you put it in the softest mode, which is rain mode. Things are very plush and very nice. A lovely setting to use. Put it into street mode, which is probably actually my favorite and probably suits the bike the most. And things are a little bit firmer but still quite plush. Then you put it into the sportiest setting. All of a sudden the damping is quite strong. There's a lot of braking support when you're heavy on the brakes. The front forks really stiffen up and gives you quite a sporty feeling.
So you've still got manually adjustable preload on both the rear shock and the front forks. The rear shock is by a turning wheel, so it's very easy to adjust the preload. Say for example if you've got a passenger on or something, or if you've got extra luggage, it's very easy to manage the preload on the rear. And then in terms of the front, it's just basically You can probably see it there. It's just a little nut there that you change the preload. But then once you're into the semi-active suspension, you just adjust the you know, basically it monitors all of the damping, compression and rebound damping on the fly, so you get a really smooth and beautiful cosseting ride. But then that's basically managed within these different modes. So you go into sport mode and the damping is quite stiff. Turn it into rain mode and all of a sudden I've got a lot more travel, or it's just softer basically. And then street mode is kind of in the middle. But of course, like any of the Yamaha range that have got the CP3 triple motor, the overwhelming highlight for me on the Tracer 9 GT Plus is the absolutely phenomenal 900cc triple that is in this motorcycle. It is just the standout feature of any motorcycle that is going to feature it.
However we cut it and we talk about technology and we talk about semi-active suspension and all that sort of stuff, actually the big takeaway from today, from riding various different Yamaha bikes, but also riding this, is that Yamaha probably make the best engines out of any of the manufacturers. And the real takeaway, my gosh, the motor that is in the Tracer 9 GT Plus is just such a peach. Obviously it's the engine from the MT-09, which we absolutely love. It's just got power everywhere, it's got torque everywhere, it's got a really great top end, very smooth, lovely to ride, and just has a huge amount of drive. I think it's a fantastic engine for this particular model, and despite all the tech and all the great handling and everything that it's got on it, the engine really is the takeaway for me, and I think it's a really standout point. The other thing that I think is great about the Tracer 9 GT is that actually it's a very manageable bike. It's very easy to flick around. It will certainly suit shorter riders because it's not actually it's not a big bike. So obviously the experience is incredibly positive actually, but you know, it wouldn't be a first impressions or whatever without a couple of downsides. I think for me personally, I've already marveled on about how fantastic the motor is that's in the Tracer 9 GT Plus. But what I will say is, you know, in the MT-09 it's a really playful engine basically. You can do massive wheelies, you can do whatever you want on it. Seemingly the Tracer 9 GT Plus doesn't allow you that level of functionality, and the traction control is fairly prohibitive in terms of having that kind of fun. So it's definitely less playful than an MT-09 and less playful than the previous generation Tracer 900s. It's also less playful than the 890 SMT, for example. So I think that is a bit of a downside. I'd love to be able to turn some of the lift control off and stuff, but it doesn't appear that you've got that level of functionality. Although I could be totally wrong, but please let me know in the comment sections. Other than that, I think it's an amazing bike. The only other area is that I think on the pricing front, this bike is £15,000 basically, so it definitely is up there, and that's fair enough when you consider all the technology and everything, but part of me can't stop thinking like this is an MT-09 derived bike, and in my head at least I've got the MT-09 at like £9,000 or £10,000 motorcycle. So to pay 15 for something or another 5 for, yes, the extra tech and some fairings and so on, it's more of a stretch basically. That is the only other area of concern. Having said that, I could be totally wrong, and the Tracer 9 GT has been incredibly successful. You see them everywhere, and there's absolutely no reason, well, there's every reason why this will continue down that route basically, because I think it's a phenomenal motorcycle and that people are really going to enjoy it. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video from Knox and from the Yamaha Experience Day. Please like, comment and subscribe. Check out all the gear that we use to protect ourselves on test, and we'll see you next time.